All right, we are back. This is video. No, it's MMA and video games because we like MMA and video games. We weren't gonna do anything for this particular event, but we decided why not? Why not? Let's take a look and see if it's worth making a video for. And lo and behold, like so often in the past, these sort of no-name events turn out to be much better than the ones we spent $80 to watch at home. So let's start with the first fight, the opening fight of the preliminary, which was
Dubin and Judice.
Yeah, let's try and say these names. Eunice, something.
Brazilian girl
with the last name Dubin, and then Carly Judice. Going into the fight, they were making it sound like Dubin was going to be. She did have some pretty incredible highlight knockouts.
They both looked pretty good standing up. They both had some good striking.
And I mean, you heard me. The first I saw, what's her name, Judice, just start just moving in the corner. I was like, ooh, she knows how to move. And yeah, man, wow, she found her range real quick. Figured out how to
keep that range with her front kicks, teep kicks.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. I mean, she really figured out how to keep out of Dubin's range.
Yeah.
And Dubin was just like, I mean, it was almost as though
she got a few good strikes in.
For sure, but it was almost as though she had figured out her range
red.
So much that she had it was like she put her hand on her head and she was just swinging. I can't reach you. That's what it felt like because she literally was just swinging and missing. Yep. And Judice was working that. She worked that first question mark kick, which was super impressive, super quick, came out of nowhere.
Yeah, she said she hasn't done that since she was an amateur as well.
And then transitioning from positions and then just threw that left leg kick, boom, high kick, knocked her out, cold. Super impressive. That was definitely somebody to keep an eye on, Carly Judice. And that was the point of this video that we wanted to do was, sometimes these events can have highlights and standout performances as well as just people you want to keep an eye on. And note that name, Carly Judice, if that's pronouncing correctly. Hopefully
Judice or Judice.
Whatever. We'll get it in her next fight. But keep an eye on that girl. And not to say that Eunice Dubin wasn't impressive in her own right. I mean, she still has incredible knockouts. This was her first loss. So
there's not much you can do from getting cut in the head with a sword.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So still kind of remember that name, see if she can sort of bring herself out of this loss and come back stronger. But yeah, that was pretty impressive. So Carly Judice, I believe her name is. Keep an eye on her because she's definitely got some fancy footwork. She knows her range. She is long and she seems to have power. So we'll see what she can do in her next fight. Let's get on to the next fight, which again, second fight of the night, which was two handsome ladies.
Yes.
Two very handsome ladies.
These were some...
They don't seem to have the name of the winner in this Nunes fight.
That's super weird. Well, it was Nunes and Cochiera, or is that her?
I don't know.
Cochiera.
She looked scary. She looked like a female Alex Pajeda.
Yeah. That's right. Now I remember the fight. Okay.
Yeah.
Nunes is a big powerhouse, was throwing bricks, but she didn't move her head enough, which left her open for some big strikes.
Yeah, she. I don't know why there's no picture of the winner here.
Because she's too scary.
Yeah, they're like, we can't put a picture of her. He's terrifying. But and I didn't really think much of this fight going in because you got the records on these particular fighters, 10-4 and 10-3, and actually I guess it was 10-3 at the time, and 12-6. Not really all that noteworthy, but the way that
the knockout was pretty impressive.
What was her name? I can't.
I actually didn't get her first name, but it was just I got her last name is Cochiera.
I'll be pictures and stuff. I'm gonna edit it.
But the dirty boxing knockout, the dirty boxing uppercut, that was pretty clean.
Yeah, that was pretty, good. I mean, the fact that I thought she was going to get knocked out because it seemed as though her head was just on the center line. She was just
both of them were like that.
Yeah, but it looked as though there wasn't really much head movement going on, and I wish there was a name to read here. So forgive me for not having a name to read. But
Cochiera.
Cochiera. Is that? Hopefully that was her name. Anyway, the UFC has always had broken apps and broken websites. Everything's on the Dana White sorted out. Yeah. I mean, that was a pretty hard, solid uppercut that rocked and put her out cold. And then the last couple of shots she followed up with, unnecessary. But hey, you got to find out. You got to make sure they're dead. Got to make sure they're dead. Double tap. But yeah, I guess that even though, I mean, there were impressive knockouts, but anybody we really want, I guess.
The first fight was probably the most notable.
Oh, for sure.
Sure.
I just mean, like, you know, even though it was a fun and exciting knockout, there's not really, with these kind of records, you know,
I agree.
The game is just too hard now. You know, like, it's too evolved. You can't have those kinds of records and climb up the rankings. I mean, I guess you could still teach an old dog new tricks.
I mean, there's always like people like Pereira. Oh wait, no, Oliveira. Sorry,
Oliveira. No. Yeah, but Oliveira, again, he was fighting when the game was less evolved.
I guess that's true.
Right?
That's very
like
true.
he was evolving with the game, and he's one of those rare fighters that has really kept up with the evolution of the sport in order to, you know, maintain his position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing really other than, you know, the fact that she's a powerhouse and she's scary. So keep an eye on her. You know, she definitely deserved recognition for that pretty rough knockout. And then we'll move on to the next fight, which was a flyweight bout, which was a good fight. Good fight, back and forth. Andre Lima remains undefeated. He definitely in round 1 and 2. He's definitely worth noting, because in round 1 and 2, I mean, he looked completely in control.
Yep.
And then
walked him down pretty much the whole
fight. And decided, you know, at the end of the fight, all right, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. Let's just finish this fight on the ground.
Even in the first round, they thought that he finished the fight, and he looked over at the ref like, "Oh, what's going on here?"
Right, yeah, and he caught that right. He caught that right to the face. Yeah, that was. Can you imagine? You're like whooping a guy's ass, and you look over. Okay, ref, save the guy, and you get KO'd. Man, that would be brutal. But yeah, keep an eye on Andre Lima. I'm definitely going to.
It was his first submission ever, as well as taking that guy's first L in the UFC.
And it's nice to see flyweights having exciting fights, and flyweights, you know, showing that their division does have hope. But yeah, let's see. And then, you know what? We'll talk about this strawweight fight with this Stephanie Luciano. I noticed her in her last fight. Was it her last fight? She seems to have 2 losses. I think it was her first fight that I noticed. Maybe it was her second fight. I don't remember exactly. But I remember watching her fight and thinking she moves like Sean O'Malley. She's got like that same long rangy, and she's just got that same way she likes to feint. She didn't seem to be demonstrating any of that tonight. It didn't seem like she was sort of flowing on her feet. She found that in the second round, it looked as though she was starting to find that rhythm, and then it got taken to the ground.
Yep.
It was like Hughes recognized, okay, she's finding a rhythm. All right, I got to drive this fight to the ground.
Yep. She kept her against the cage as well, and pieced her up there as well.
Which was a shame, because
lots of ground and pound.
Luciano definitely has some flair on her feet. Not to mention, you know, the UFC and fans love to see supermodel-looking fighters. Because she definitely is the prettiest.
Although she walked into the fight with a couple black eyes.
Yeah, she definitely looked like she'd either had a long night,
rough night
in Vegas, or might be some rough sparring. But hopefully this isn't, you know, the sign of a, you know, a downturn for her, because she, again, is an exciting fighter to watch. She definitely is exciting in that respect. Reminds me again, say Sean O'Malley. So hopefully this loss to Hughes doesn't derail any hype train, because I thought there was something to look forward to there. Let's move on to the next fight. I don't think there was really this.
Mousasi was piecing Vera up throughout the whole first round, and Vera kept falling back on his back and turtling up and waiting for him to come back to the ground for him.
He has Ryan Hall in his corner. And Ryan Hall, if anybody, or, you know, those who watch a lot of UFC know that Ryan Hall is just one of the most pathetic fighters to watch. He literally rolls around like he's playing like a child. Again, it's jiu-jitsu. Forgive me for all you BJJ experts out there, but let's be honest. MMA is MMA, not BJJ. So
that's why her or whoever the ref was for this fight, I don't remember, but he kept having to intercept and get him to stand up, which was only helping
get off
him.
Your ass, you lazy little shit.
And yeah, he ended up actually knocking him out.
Winning the fight,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
With a leg kick, like some pretty,
yeah, that was right.
Some pretty fancy kicks. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he had hard kicks.
Yeah,
they were hard
and
kicks.
you
for
know
sure.
he's only got a 12-4 record, so hey, you never know. I mean, if he
keeps turtling up like that.
yeah, if he can, he did have a lot of. I don't know how old this guy is, but he did have a lot of gray hair. So
He's 37.
is he 37? Okay,
Yeah, he's on the way out.
12-4. I mean, that's a pretty solid record.
It almost seems like he reminded me of somebody who's starting his MMA career in a weird way.
Yeah,
despite being
and
so
I mean,
old.
those kicks were pretty dynamic to go from like left to right, and then I can't remember the exact way that the knockout happened, but it was a pretty fancy kick where I think he missed something, and then brought his right leg kick up or maybe it was his left. I think it was his left, and Musasa just didn't see it coming. They were both in transition, pivoting to the side, and he caught a leg kick right to the side of the head, and that was it. Did he have to finish him? Follow up with that?
Let me see.
I don't remember. But either way, unfortunate to see that.
No, it was just a knockout kick. I don't think he even finished him.
Unfortunately, it was sad to see. They were just about to say, or they were just in the process of talking about how Musasa, he's been told he should move to another place to train
From the Congo,
and he was staying adamant to training in the Congo and wanting to bring
glory to his home.
And then boom, he gets knocked out. That was pretty sad to hear. Or see, because I was like, as he was saying that, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna root for this guy because
real African champ.
Yeah, let's see him bringing some glory home to the Congo, and then he gets KO'd. But that's a learning thing for him. He's only one loss.
It was his first loss, yeah,
absolutely.
And he looked good.
He did look good. He did look good. It's late. Let's keep moving here. What's that? Nah, I mean, these fights were good, but nothing really noteworthy. Su Yong Yu.
Su Yong, he showed he was a dynamic fighter. He was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean he's a brick shithouse for sure.
Yeah, he was pretty good on the feet. I found he was kind of like not necessarily a sniper, but had great timing. I think he has a really good team behind him, and he ended up wrestling for the next 2 rounds as well, and he ended up snuffing out the win.
Yeah. And then we go on to Waldo Cortez Acosta and Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann's first venture into the heavyweight division. He did look a little heavy.
I thought this fight was boring.
Yeah.
There was no strategy there. It was just 1-2s.
It ended in a pretty rough knockout.
They looked like bears going at
They did look like bears.
But they... Again, it was... All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
There wasn't much going on. No combos really.
No, there was no. It wasn't
setting up.
It wasn't pretty.
It
wasn't pretty.
Two big dudes.
Yeah, I mean neither of these guys.
Big soft guys.
That being said, I mean Waldo's only got 1 loss, and he is a monster. But again, I mean he'd get pieced up by Aspinall and Volkov and all the guys.
Was fighting a little dirty. Got a really serious warning from the ref to stop.
There were a lot of warnings all night tonight.
Yeah, and
but when
I think he did
there?
3. I think he did 3.
Yeah, when isn't there warnings?
Maybe 2. Maybe just 2.
They were saying all night something needs to be done about taking more points.
Yeah, just taking more severity, and I kind of agree. I mean, it's interesting because there's other MMA associations that use different gloves and that curve the hand to make it so you can't really poke your fingers out.
Yeah, well, they tried that.
I know. And
they tried that with the other.
They took it off. Guess who?
None of the fighters liked it. Oh, John Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all the other fighters apparently said the same thing. Let's move on to the main card. What was the standouts in the main card? We're not gonna go over every fight.
Choi and Valios. First round knockout. Another first round finish. Choi tried to utilize his range, but Valios figured out his timing.
I'm trying to find.
Little guy came up with the overhand right.
Oh, that was the first fight.
Yeah. Little guy came up with the overhand right on the tall guy and just knocked the shit out of him. Knocked the poop out of him. Sorry, I can't cuss.
Kevin Vallejos?
Yeah, he hit him with an overhand right, and then he started just finishing with heavy elbows.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was vicious. That was.
Yeah. When
Choi, I don't know. That guy seems to just get knocked out. Like
I know. I thought he was gonna be a hype bully when I saw him walk in.
Yeah.
In that 11 and 8.
Yeah, Kevin Vallejos or
I'm going with
Vallejos.
Although no, he's Argentine. Yeah.
Kevin is it Vallejos?
It would be. I think he speaks Spanish, so
Vallejos. Anyway.
Oh yeah, it's 2 Y's.
Yeah, it's two L's. He makes a Y, so it's Vallejos. Yeah. Kevin Vallejos. Let's call him Kevin V.
Let's call it Kevin V.
Kevin V. 15-1. He definitely had an impressive knockout. He definitely looked like somebody to keep an eye on. So
sure.
Definitely a noteworthy name, Kevin Vallejos. Cool. Yeah, it was a nice knockout. Let's move on to the next fight. Brendan Ribeiro, and that it was a winning submission. Oh yeah, that was pretty.
That was a funny fight. I mean,
well, I'll say. The Nurmagomedov,
the Kazakhstan guy,
Kazakhstanian guy. Yeah, he
has a little tick going on.
Oh yeah, the weird tick. Yeah. But no,
I don't.
That's irrelevant. No, but what was a badass was the fact that he got his O taken away with a nasty looking Kimura. I can't believe that guy was
undefeated. Yeah, that's right.
Nasty looking Kimura. Yeah. I mean,
that was like cranked around the body. Oh yeah.
And as soon as I saw him try and roll, and I was like, okay, as soon as he gets to his over, it's over. It's that, and that was it. Yeah, it was when I saw it lock, I was like, bam, that's it. And they kept saying, oh no, he's gonna get that was tight, and that was nasty. I mean, hopefully they didn't pop his shoulder out of socket there, because that was pretty vicious. So yeah, that was the whatever this guy's name is, Dr.
Ribeiro.
Nerd gonna fight here anymore. You really know that's from Office Space. What?
First, Mr. Samir Naga. Not gonna work here anymore anyway.
Anyway, okay, so let's move on to other noteworthy fights. We had Alexander Hernandez. Oh no,
Gibson Blackshear.
Right. Damon Blackshear and Cody Gibson was the next fight. Ended in submission for Damon Blackshear. Alexander Hernandez and Kurt Hollebach. That was actually kind of a fun fight. Alexander Hernandez is definitely and even, Bisping was commenting, he's so graceful on his feet and this and that. And I was I can agree. He definitely looks good. And there's one fundamental thing he doesn't do. He doesn't move his head off the center line. Mm-hmm. He doesn't move his head off the center line, and he will get pieced up with anybody who can find that timing and find that range. Kurt Hollebach definitely didn't find that.
Right.
He's one of those fighters that just kind of keeps pressing forward, keeps moving straight. Easy enough to figure out and read. And Hernandez definitely did that, adding to his winning 16-8 now. But again, these guys are on their way out. It's not really, not really relevant in the whole climb for the belts. And
in fact, the prelim seems to have more of the up and comers that we're going to be seeing, whereas the main event was just kind of seeing a lot of those old guys just bout for no reason really.
And we'll jump to the next
other
fight.
than the main event.
Yeah, we'll jump to the next fight, which was Chidi. Same thing, not going to work here anymore. And Elizu something or other. And these guys, they put on a good show. It was a good fight.
He got him with that deadly knee at the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Finish with the ground and pound.
Definitely a good fight, but that's not what this video is about. This video isn't just to go over these cards, because that is extremely boring. We're trying to talk about what is relevant and worth talking about, and we'll jump to the main event, which again, the only relevance in this particular instance is the fact that it was a great fight. It was a back and forth war from two people who will never win the belt. So
a couple gatekeepers.
Yeah, and Dolidze has now pushed himself into the top 10, which, is a great position for him. He's got a lot of holes in his game that he has to fill. He's slow. He telegraphs his shots. He, again, no head movement. His footwork needs to, and then of course his cardio. He definitely came in looking lean. He looked a little bit sharp or more fit than he usually does, which means he dialed in his nutrition, which I expected to affect his cardio in a more positive way. Definitely did not do that. They were both slow and sluggish. I'll give it to Marvin Vettori. He's always moving forward. He's always remaining active.
Little jumping bean, man.
It looks odd, it looks weird, but he's always appearing to be in the fight. He never allows his opponent to make him to think or feel like he is distracted or deterred or just he always believes in himself.
Not to mention the ref will always see that he's fighting, and
Yeah, I mean, you're painting a picture for the judges, right?
Exactly. Judges. Sorry, I said ref, didn't I?
Yeah, you're painting a picture for the judges, and in his he does his best to make himself look active enough. But I do think that it was the right call tonight. I think Delidze, even though the fight was a good back and forth war, it definitely felt like Delidze edged it out.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised to see it as a unanimous decision.
I was a little bit surprised by that too.
It just
despite us both saying
exactly, it just kind of means, okay, we got it right.
Yeah,
because they all had the same opinion. Not to mention Chris Lieben was one of the judges tonight. I think he was and Lieben's an ex-UFC fighter, so that's always nice to see when you see the ex-UFC fighters actually having somebody there who knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they got it right tonight, and this just means Delidze now has to sharpen up so that he can compete with those top 10s, because he can't. With a performance like that and a sluggish, slow, telegraphed performance like that, he's going to get chewed to bits. So congrats to Roman Delidze for that win, but again, he's going to have to fill up a few holes. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this event. I don't know what's going on in the upcoming weeks.
You can go.
Is there anything?
Go scroll up. Go back.
UFC schedule. Oh, wow, yeah, right.
Oh, wow, Leon Edwards
is next weekend. Woo, shit. That's a good fight.
Kevin Holland is there, too.
And Jan? Get the fuck out of here. And Carlos Ulberg. Are you joking me?
Can you go to
Gunnar Nelson? Kevin Holland? What? Molly McCann? Okay, this is like a pay-per-view. Carlos Ulberg. I'll tell you this. Carlos Ulberg is an up-and-comer.
Oh, really?
Oh,
cool.
Big time. You'll recognize him when
probably. These faces look pretty small on the screen right now.
My son doesn't get to watch as much as I get to watch because he's got a schedule. He's a young lad who has to work a lot more than his dad does now. So, but I make sure he's up to date,
up to speed.
But yeah, Carlos Ulberg he's the real deal for sure.
Cool.
So this is going to be an incredible test against Jan. I mean, Jan's the next champion. And then Sean Brady, again, only one loss. And I feel like Sean Brady, he underperformed in his last performance big time. I don't think he showed what he really can do. This is going to be an interesting fight. Leon, of course, one of the deadliest strikers on the feet. But he gives up. He gives up, and he can fall asleep in the ring, and you can fall asleep along with him.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see how that pans out. I'm going to have to probably go with Sean. Again, I'm going to have to do a little bit more. I'm going to watch some highlights.
Yeah, I'm going to probably do the same.
And see what, do a little bit more studying on Sean's tape. Leon's really big hole was always the ground game, avoiding the takedown. But he did that against Kamaru. And he just couldn't do that against...
who did take
It's is it Bilal? Bilal, yeah.
Yeah, okay, it was Bilal. Yeah, that's right.
Bilal, what did I call him? Bilal you to sleep, yeah.
Or the pita from
Oh yeah,
from
the
Sausage
pita
Party.
from Sausage Party. I can't remember who said that, but yeah. Cool. Well, that's an exciting card to look forward to. That looks as good as a pay-per-view to me. Maybe a pay-per-view 3 years ago, but still. There's some old pay-per-view names for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's the end of this video. We will be back. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and yeah, you're gonna see a lot more of us covering UFC, and we'll get back to the video game stuff eventually real soon. Okay? All right, we're out.